All right, hello everyone. Thanks for joining in for today's live Q&A session here on YouTube Live. I'm Chris with DecoNetwork, and I'll be the host for the session today. So we're here today to answer your questions regarding DecoNetwork, whether that's a technical question if you have it, or maybe a how-to. You're trying to get to a specific scenario, you're trying to set up a product a specific way, and you're not sure how to do it. We're here to answer your guys' questions. So feel free to raise those through the chat. We're monitoring the chat throughout the session, and we'll go ahead and pull from those questions that you guys are submitting. All right. So while we wait for some of those questions to start coming in, I do have a quick tip to go over here, and it's related to decoration pricing. So a common scenario that some of our clients are trying to set up is to configure pricing specific to a decoration location. So, for example, you might have a garment like the Gildan 2000, which has a front body, a left chest, a right chest, maybe a back, and some sleeve decoration locations. And um, you might want to have a specific price for each of those locations. So a left chest is $5, a back is $10, so on and so forth. So we do give you that flexibility to configure that at the product level. Um, so before we dive into that, let's kind of take a quick overview of some of the decoration pricing basics in DecoNetwork. So for that, I'm going to jump into decoration pricing here on my test system. All right. So there's two primary ways that you can set up your DecoNetwork pricing. By default, it will come with this flat pricing option enabled. Flat pricing allows you to have one single price for decoration regardless of what that decoration is. So whether it's a left chest embroidery or a 4-color screen print back, it'll use that same price. This is more more so if you're working within Business Hub, right? It gives you really nice flexibility to just be able to type in what your selling price is. That's a flexible way if you don't necessarily want DecoNetwork to do the pricing calculation, you want to input it yourself. That's the case where you might use flat pricing, but more commonly we see used is the advanced pricing, in which case you can select from one of these different price levels, either a single price, area pricing, based on the size of the graphic, or a price table. Price table works a little bit differently for each process, but to give you some examples, for embroidery, it's a matrix based on quantity and stitch count. For screen printing, it might be a matrix based on quantity and number of colors in the design. Right, so that's kind of the foundation for decoration pricing in DecoNetwork. And this same pricing that you configure globally here in your settings is the same price that's applied to each of the decoration locations that your consumer might end up designing on. So again, using that same Gildan 2000 as the example, someone might pick that shirt and decide that they want a left chest embroidery design on there. So the system will take the graphic that they've added, estimate the stitches, look up your price table for embroidery, and get the cost for that range of stitch count and charge based on that. Um, and if you're then maybe doing a back, let's say it's going to be a screen print back, again, the system will take a look at how many colors are in that design, what's the quantity that the user is purchasing, and pull the pricing based on that. So it's constantly referencing the configured global pricing when you're designing on a product. If we now go into a specific product, here in the product section of my admin area, we can take a look at how you can override some of that default pricing. I guess before we take a look at the individual product level, there is one higher level where this can be configured, and that's the product default. Product default are kind of like groups, not necessarily categories, but groups that products are assigned into. And we do have quite a bit of system groups that are here by default. You can also add your own in here. But for the most part, the the bulk of the products that come from the DecoNetwork catalogs are apparel, and so they would be filed into this apparel group here. So let's take a look at that one. So if I edit one of these product defaults, I do have a tab for decoration pricing, and you can see here the initial option is for them to use the system decoration pricing, which uses what I just showed a bit earlier there with the default pricing. You do have the option to override that and instead use custom decoration pricing. And this is going to allow you to go in and actually make some overrides. So for apparel items, you could go in and say, instead of using a single price, I want to use a price table. So you can actually override the pricing method within the product default, which is a good flexibility. So you could have, for example, um, within the same process like DTG, you could have a product group or a product default called apparel, and that uses um, your DTG pricing table. You might have another group called um, business cards, and within that you come into the product default, you uncheck use system prices, and you select a different price table to use for those business cards. So in bulk, you can have these different groups of products use different decoration pricing structure. All right, so this is the product group or product default override. But then at the individual product level is where we're actually going to have access to go in and say, these specific decoration locations use a different price, right? Because the print locations they're not assigned globally, they're assigned individually to each product. So we do have to do this change at the product level. Um, so let's take a look at the pricing tab for this ladies cotton t-shirt. So to make the change, we're going to look here within the price breakdown section. You'll notice to the right of some of these prices listed, we have these configure cogs on the right hand side. And so what we're able to do is, let's say under decoration price, click that configure cog. It's already going to be set to use the master pricing. We can go ahead and switch it to a custom pricing, and that's going to give us access to this edit price link. So if I click on that, I get the first screen here, which gives me the ability to go in and say, don't use the default pricing for a given process. And that opens up the field where I can enter an alternate price. All right, so that's the first level. There is a second level here for even more advanced pricing, which is what I was discussing earlier. So here we actually get a matrix of decoration processes and decoration locations. So I could come in here and say, the body area for screen printing, I want to change the default price and I want to set that to $20. All right, and I could do the same for the back. Maybe the back is $15. So I can actually set a price per print location per process. So there is some flexibility here. You do just have to keep in mind this is set per product because once again the print locations are defined per product. All right, so that's the tip there on setting decoration pricing per print location. All right, let's see if we have some questions we can go over next. We've got a question here. Could you go over how to set up a promo code? Example, 10% off site-wide. Sure. So DecoNetwork does give you the option to set up coupon codes. Depending, I will make a note here, depending on which plan you're on, this may be a paid option. It is included at our most popular plan, which is the premium plan. But if you're on a plan that doesn't have this option included, you'll still see it in your menu, which is here under marketing within the admin menu. You'll see the option for coupon codes. If you don't have it enabled for your plan, you'll see it kind of listed like this, slightly grayed out. You'll see that yellow plus icon. You can go ahead and click on it, and that'll give you the option to enable it. It'll let you know if there's any costs associated with that. All right, so again, we're coming into marketing. We're going into coupon codes, and from here we have the option to go ahead and create a new coupon code. So it's fairly straightforward, but we'll go ahead and walk through it. So first thing you might want to do is go ahead and enable that coupon code. You can set the code, which is what the user will end up using. So the example here is 10% off. So we'll say 10 off. We'll set the coupon name to the exact same thing, 10 off. And here's where you can set your discount amount. Now, the discount amount can be defined either as a percentage or as a dollar amount. In this case, we're doing a percentage, so we'll leave it set to that and we'll enter in our 10. You do have the ability to set an expiration date. So let's say we're doing up till the end of August here. So we'll say August 31st. And if you did want to have a minimum purchase requirement in order to use this coupon, you can define that here as well. In my case, it's just a straight 10% off regardless of your minimum order value. All right, and then the last thing here, the number of uses you can define here. So let's say I don't want this coupon to be used more than 100 times. Once it's been used 100 times, that will go ahead and expire. All right, you do also have some options for product availability. So you can define which kinds of products this coupon is valid for, whether it's pre-decorated products, non-decoratable products. That would be, something that's kind of an as-is, like maybe a scarf, which it's not necessarily decorated on, but you offer for sale as an as-is product, or blank products, items that can be decorated but may not have any decoration applied to them. You can also have it applied to the cost of shipping, although that is off by default. So you can select, again, which types of items you want that to apply to. And then down at the bottom of this section here, you can define which product defaults, or like we looked at earlier, product groups, this coupon would apply to. So again, that same example where if you had a grouping for business cards and a grouping for your apparel, you can select which of those groupings this coupon is valid for. All right, so for this one, I might say, this is only for my apparel. So I'll select that. And then the last screen here that we have access to is the store availability. This would show up if you're on a plan that has access to multiple web stores. So you can define which of your multiple web stores this coupon could be applied in. By default, that's going to be all of your stores. So if you don't want it available for all of your stores, just a specific one, you can set this option to not in any store by default. And then down here under either the group or the store level, you can go in and say, I want to go ahead and give access to this Tony store, and anyone shopping through that store will be able to use that coupon. So we can go ahead and save that change. All right, so I think that kind of covers the follow-up question there as far as, if there's multiple sites associated with an account, can you have the promo code only be used on one of those sites? So you definitely can through that store availability option. All right, and then I guess we'll kind of jump into, how would you message that back through the site? If we go back in and manage the store where I've made that coupon code available, I'll jump into website pages quickly here. And it's fairly straightforward with the DecoNetwork 8-page editor. We do have these widgets that you can pull in. So, you could drop in either a brand new widget or one of these nice panels that we have, like a promo banner. For example, we have this summer sale banner. So you could drop in that pre-configured panel into your site, and then just change the text. Instead of up to 50% off, up to 10% off, and you could add in the text there with coupon code 10 off. You could go ahead and enlarge that text or make it bold, whatever change you might want to make there. All right, so that makes it pretty easy to kind of create that coupon code through the admin section and then make that available as a marketing message through the site. All right, let's take a look at next question down the line here. So looking to set up one store and have commissions be calculated and paid per product code. I'm not sure. We might need some clarification on that question mark. I'm not sure I quite understand what you're after there. If you could maybe type in your clarification and we'll come back to that question. Okay, but we do have a question here. Someone's trying to set up a custom product category that contains only the most popular sweatshirts so that they can kind of create a quick way to access those products through a button on their page. So that's fairly straightforward. Let's take a look at that question. Um, Here in the admin section, we'll want to jump into the products page. And the categories are managed here on the left-hand side panel of the main products page. So this is essentially the list of categories that are currently in your blank products. To add additional categories, you would select where you want that category to be created. Let's say I want this to be a new top level category. I would select the All section and press the Add button. Hey guys, sorry about that. I had a bit of a hiccup here on the stream, but we're back now. So as I was mentioning, we were taking a look at answering the question on how to set up uh, product categories, specifically how to file some of your most popular products into a category and then make that category quickly available by adding a button through your website. So the categories are managed here in the product section of your admin area. And to create that category, you'll want to first select the place where you want to create that category. If it's going to be a top level category, you would want to select the All section. I'll go ahead and do that now. Press the Add button and set my name to popular sweatshirts. Hit OK. If that was going to be a subcategory, I could go ahead and, for example, select polo shirts, press Add, and then let's say create a subcategory category called popular. By having the polo shirts category selected when I press the Add button, the system knows to go ahead and create that as a subcategory. All right, so for now we'll work with this popular sweatshirts top level category. To start filing products into that category once you have it created, you'll simply look at the list of products that you have. Maybe you know the specific product codes that you want filed in there. So you could do a search by product code. Let's say I want the 4930. Search that. There it is. I want both the adult and the youth. So what I could do is actually select both of these, go into the bulk action menu and say modify categories, and then press the apply action button. So this is one way to do it, is to select multiple products at once and then apply that category change in bulk. So here at the top of the category update screen, I can press add category. I'll scroll down to the bottom where that new category is. I'll select it, press OK, and then save that change. All right, so easy as that. We now see the popular sweatshirts category. And if we take off that search filter, we'll see it contains those two items that I just added. And so you could repeat that process. Let's say you find just one item that you want in there, maybe this SF72R. I can go ahead and configure that. If I configure the item individually to assign the category, I would click into the category section and press the assign category button there. Again, scroll to the bottom to select that newly created category and then press save to apply that change. So there's two ways you can assign that category, either individually per product or in bulk to multiple selected items in the list. All right, and then as far as listing that through the website, again, let's jump back to the page editor here, maybe on a separate tab. And we'll take a look at how to add that. I think the mention was how to um, add it as a button. So we'll do it two ways. It could be a button directly in the contents of that page, or maybe you want it as a button in your navigation. So if you want it as a button in your navigation, you might set it up as a page. So you could say add page here in the pages section of the website pages editor. And let's say popular sweatshirts is going to be our page name. Hit OK. Once you have that new page created, you can start adding widgets onto that page. So I'll click into the widgets panel, And specifically, I'm looking to show a list of blank products, right? Those blank products that I just categorized. So I could look under the list section and drag in a blank product listing. Just drop that right into the empty container. And through the properties of that blank product listing, I can use the category option to filter to just a specific category of products. And I'm going to go ahead and select my popular sweatshirts category to pull from. So now I've got this page set up that's showing only those popular sweatshirts. So I could go ahead and save that page. So that's doing it through the navigation. Let's say you maybe wanted that to work a little bit differently. Let's say you actually want that on your home page. And maybe you want kind of more of a call to action. So, click here to see our popular sweatshirts or something like that. So if we come down here, let's find a nice space to place that. Maybe we could use this existing one here. So we'll change this text from leading designs to browse our popular sweatshirts. And we can go ahead and change this button. So I can just click the button to select it. It's going to open up the button properties. I can go ahead and add a link to that button. And I could say, let's use an existing page. In this case, we have that page that we created, but let's say you don't have, right, let's assume that we didn't create that page. So how do I link to that category of products? Well, what you could do is if we open up a separate tab here and we just go to the website. So as you're browsing the blank products page yourself, you'll see that when you navigate to a specific category of products, the URL in the address bar is going to change. And so what we can do is visit the category that we're wanting to link to, make a note of that URL in the address bar, and then use that as the link for our button. So I'm here on my create page, my blank products page, and I can use my category drop-down menu to go to the category I'm interested in. Now I see here in the address bar, I've got this unique URL. For that category, I can go ahead and copy that and come back, and in that button, I'll say, instead of linking to a page, I want that to link to a website URL, and I'll just paste in that path that I copied from the address bar. All right, so I can go ahead and press OK, and again, save that change. So as I'm working here in the page editor and saving, those changes aren't going live quite yet until I hit publish. So I'll go ahead and hit publish now, and we'll see both of those changes that I made, both the banner adjustment and that new page visible on the live site. All right, so we'll refresh those to check them out. All right, I am seeing here clarification from Mark on his question. So the question is, instead of having several affiliate stores, he's wanting to have kind of one store that everyone shops from. And maybe through that one store, you have everybody's designs, right? So maybe me, Chris, I have some designs through Mark's main shopping site, and I would earn commissions if just my design sold. So it is a concept that I'm familiar with, that DecoNetwork is familiar with. I believe it was more in discussions, long ago. It's not something that is currently possible in DecoNetwork. The route that we went down is the affiliate stores. So that's really the process that's available today. If you want someone to be earning commissions through your system, it does require for you to set up an affiliate store for them. All right, now certainly it is the case that you could go down the route that you're interested in, setting up one store, selling those different designs for different affiliates. You just would not be able to track those commissions through DecoNetwork. So as far as tracking who do you owe commissions to and how much do you owe them, that's something that you would have to track externally. You might be able to use the export orders reports that DecoNetwork generates to help you out with that. For example, You could do a line item order report, maybe at the end of the week, at the end of each week, which would tell you which products sold through the site. So maybe identified by the product name, you could identify, well, this product belongs to affiliate X and this other product belongs to affiliate Y. So I'll give them, their 10, I'll calculate 10% off of the sale of those goods that are kind of associated with them. All right, so hopefully that clarifies that for you, Mark. As far as I'm aware, we're not looking to go down that route of that one shop route anytime soon. So at this point, it is limited to just the affiliate stores. All right, so let's check back in here on the change. Let me just refresh my homepage here. So we see that um, that new page is available, popular sweatshirts, as well as on my homepage. If I scroll down to the bottom, I can see that banner that I adjusted, popular browser popular sweatshirts. Check them out, click that button, and I get taken directly to that category on my create page. All right, the I guess the second route that I kind of went through here uh, is more along the lines of what I would recommend rather than creating a separate page, adding the widget, having the widget pull from that category. It might be more beneficial to piggyback off of the existing create page, the existing products page that you already have, which automatically generates these URLs based on category, and simply link to that category URL so that you're not having to kind of double up on work. It's actually faster to just go to the already existing category page, copy that URL, and then if you're looking to link to that category somewhere, you can just paste that in and have that be the link URL. All right, guys, feel free to raise any other questions that you guys have through the chat. In the meantime, let's see if we can go through another tip here. Let's see, while we're in the page editor, let's see if there's something we can take a look at here. Is there any way to customize products in campaigns? Um, you mean beyond the initial setup? So are you looking to edit the product for an already created campaign story? Is that what I'm understanding, Mark? Let's see, while we wait for clarification on that from Mark, let's take a look at page options. I guess the tip here is within the page editor, there's quite a bit of customization that you can make in terms of what options you want on, whether you want the currency selector, the phone number. We did get a question recently from a customer who was changing these options, and the change wasn't applying back onto their site. So one of the things you have to keep in mind is once you've gone in and uh, applied a custom HTML template, you do lose some of that dynamic access to the page options from the page editor. Um, let's say, for example, I came in and I said, I want, I do want to display the currency selector in my header. I could go ahead and save that change. If I then go back and say, I want to customize the HTML template because I have this script from, company X and they're asking me to put this script on my website. In most cases, that script is for, tracking either Google Analytics or a chat script. Those types of scripts we actually, some of that we actually have integrations for you already, like the Google Analytics, so that you don't have to go in and mess with your HTML template. But there are some that we don't have integrations for, which they might be asking you to place it in a specific place in your HTML template. And so if that's the case, feel free to go in and paste that in. Just keep in mind, Once you hit save here and you've applied a change and you're now setting a custom HTML layout, you're actually going to lose, again, some of that dynamic access to the page options. So let's say I hit save here. Since I've enabled the currency selector, if I go back and go into page options and say hide that currency selector, I'm still going to see that visible. It's still applied here in my HTML layout. So that's the tip there, is kind of keep in mind. I guess it works similar if anyone's familiar with the email templates. Once you go custom with an order template or an email template, you're kind of locked down to that custom layout. Even if DecoNetwork changes it after the fact, you don't get those updates. You've kind of chosen to use this separate specific layout. All right, so Mark's question is, can you personalize it with a name? Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. It would be done the same way that you do it for an affiliate store. So as far as personalization, it can be done a couple ways, really. Um, let's walk through, I guess, the most common way that we see it done, which is through a custom field. So custom fields are additional fields of information that you can assign to a blank product. It's done here in the product section by clicking into the custom fields tab. From there, you can add a custom field. There's different types of fields that you can add in. For example, a text field, a drop down, a checkbox, right? For something like a personalized name, you might use a text field. So let's use that. And let's say, so let's go ahead and save that. All right, once you have that field defined, you can go back to your products list. You'd want to configure the product where you want that personalization option available. So I'll edit this cotton t-shirt. I'll go into custom fields and I'll turn on the personalized name option. So let's go ahead and save that. And so that field is now going to be available anywhere where that same blank product is available. So first place we could take a look at that is by just viewing that blank product through my main site. You can see here's the blank, here's that custom field, ready to take information from the user. That same field is going to show on any decorated products that you create based on that blank. So if we take a look at our websites, we go into one of these affiliate stores and we say decorated products, create decorated products. Let's go ahead and choose that same blank, the adult 5-ounce cotton shirt, pocket tee. Oh, it's this one here. All right, so let's select that shirt. And let's apply some design on here. Let's say that's going to be a left chest. We could even add a placeholder here. So we could say your name, hit save. So in the case of a campaign, the end user would actually be entering or uploading their own design onto the shirt. So it's really their design on the shirt and the field collecting the personalization information. In this example, I'm kind of adding that design of your name on the left chest, but you could imagine, if it was a campaign, it might be a full design across the body. All right, so that product is saved. Let's take a look at the store. And we'll see here, we'll jump into the decorative products page and we'll see, we should have access to that same field that we saw when we were loading the blank product. All right, and sure enough, here it is. You'll see here's the product with the custom design added onto it. And in the properties section, you see the field for a personalized name where the user could enter in a value and have that submitted. So these fields are going to show up inside of Business Hub as part of the line item that's submitted with an order under the options column. You'll see the name of the field and the value entered in by the user. All right, so this is one option. The alternate option, which I was going to mention, is more in line with kind of the graphic that I added. So if I edit that decoration and click that design, that your name design that I dropped in, for any text that's been dropped into an item, whether it's embroidery text or print text, you can enable this option for allow personalization. And with that option enabled, if I go ahead and save from here, what that's actually going to allow is for me to change that text through the product page. And yeah, so to clarify, this will work both on affiliate stores, campaigns, anywhere where you create a decorative product, right? Campaigns use that same idea of decorative products. It's just, the campaign store is limited to one item. But this will work on campaign stores. It'll work on affiliate stores. It'll work through your main site as well. So this is something that you would have to kind of pre-configure the product for your campaigns to use. So the custom field would have to be assigned to the blank, right? The campaign doesn't have access to make changes to the blank. So you would configure the blanks, make them have that option enabled. Once that option is enabled, your campaign users, all they have to do is create that campaign, and that field would already be visible. So there would really be no work for them to do on that end. All right, so we've just saved that second change to show the different way of doing it, um, which is to actually allow personalization on the graphic that's been added. And so here, that embroidery text for your name, I could change it to Chris. And so that's actually going to update live. The benefit of this is that you get the visual on the shirt of that name that's been entered or anything like that. The downside is you have to consider pricing. So if this is a graphic that's been added into the left chest area and it's using the embroidery decoration method, it's going to pull from your embroidery pricing. So in this case, it's pulling from my price table and calculating a price based on the stitch count of this text. All right, but two options there for you to use. Both of them are suitable depending on what you're looking to do there with your campaigns. All right, great questions, guys. Thanks for submitting those in. We still have quite a bit of time here. We've got maybe another 15, 20 minutes left, so feel free to raise any additional questions that you guys have, and we'll continue to go through those. All right, in the meantime, I'll go ahead and cover a tip that we do get quite frequently, and it's kind of a tip as well as clarification on a misconception of one of the features inside of DecoNetwork. So nowadays, it's pretty common for someone that runs a web store to want a live chat feature on that web store. Currently, DecoNetwork does not provide that functionality built in for you to add in a live chat option onto your website. However, we do offer this option, live person support, on plans that have a multiple web stores. And this is often confused with an option for live chat support. So to clarify what this option is, live person support is a way for you to offer a communication system between you, the fulfillment center, and your affiliate stores. So consider that your affiliate store owner might be, someone random that just found your site and wanted to sell their own designs and have you fulfill those designs for them. And they may want to be able to reach you. Let's say they received an order and maybe they want to know when that's going to be delivered, or they had a question on, I'm trying to create this product and I'm not quite sure how to do that. So, right, they're coming to you for support, and live person support is a way for you to open up a channel for communication between you and your affiliate stores. So that is often mistaken with the ability to add a live chat onto your own website, which this feature does not provide. And so in terms of how you would add a live chat feature onto your own website, there's quite a bit of services out there that offer that, quite a bit of companies that offer that service. If we just do a quick search here, um, so there's one that we've kind of showed off before, which is a free service. So again, this type of service is offered by companies like Zendesk, Zoho. This one that I'm going to show off here is kind of a free service that you can sign up for, which might be a good option if you're just kind of jumping into wanting this type of functionality. Um, so you would come on to the, whatever the company website is where you want to sign up. You'll sign up for an account. At the end of the sign up process, all of these services are going to provide you with an HTML snippet or a JavaScript snippet. And that's really all you're interested in as far as now applying that back into DecoNetwork. So what you want to do is copy that snippet of code and paste that back into your DecoNetwork website. The easiest way for you to do that is by going through the page editor if you're on DecoNetwork 8. So if we take a look at our website, go into website pages. Right, so not even having to go through the HTML layout, that's a little bit too complicated. Just through the web page editor, down at the bottom of your site, you can use one of these empty columns or these white spaces to drop in an HTML widget. So I'll pull in from my widget section, I'll drag an HTML widget, I'll drop it into that empty column, and this is where I could paste in that snippet of code provided to me by the chat service. Again, it could be talked to. That's a free one that you can take a look at, might be useful. Or you can go to some of those other companies. If maybe you use Zendesk for support between you and your clients, that might be a good option to use it from them. Or if you use Zoho for your CRM, you might use the Zoho service from them. All right, so that's a quick tip on how to add a live chat onto your site. Again, the key isn't so much which service you use. At the end, they all provide you with that snippet, and that's really all you care about when it in regards to how to then apply that back to DecoNetwork. All right, I think we have time for one more tip here, um, and I guess I'll make it a good one here. The one of the, I guess, more difficult things to get a grasp on when you're first coming onto DecoNetwork is the idea of commissions, affiliate stores, commissions, pricing. How is all of that related to each other, and how does it all kind of work together? So let me try and kind of demystify that topic, uh, make it real simple for you guys to understand how all of that gets calculated and generated automatically by the system. Right. So in order to understand how commissions get calculated, you'd first need to understand how pricing is calculated for a product in DecoNetwork. And the basis for that starts with the blank product. So if we take a look at one of these blank items and we jump into the pricing section, uh, what we're interested in is the retail price of the blank product. Depending on whether that's a custom product that you've created or a product that comes from the DecoNetwork catalogs, uh, how you get to that final retail price might differ, right? You might actually specify the retail price, or it might be the cost from the vendor plus a markup that you specified, right? That calculation is kind of out of the scope of what we're talking about now. Right now, at this point, what we're interested in is the retail price, which, if you're looking at a blank product, will be specified as the blank product price. So for this specific shirt, it's 1181 is my retail price. So DecoNetwork takes that retail price of the blank, and on top of that, it adds the decoration price, which we see some examples of here. $15 for transfer, $5 for DTG, $10 for screen print. Whatever price you see here on this screen is going to be more of an example. Right, for screen printing, you might be using a price table. So in the end, it's going to differ based on how many colors are being used. It's also going to depend on whether it's just a front or a front and a back and a sleeve, right? So there's a lot of factors to consider there. The price shown here is more just kind of an example. But we have that combination to start from: blank product price plus decoration price. So those two things combined give you the retail price of a decorated product. And that's the foundation of all other pricing in DecoNetwork: blank plus decoration. And so that same price that we just looked at now is the same price that's offered to your affiliate stores, right? So I have this store called Tony Commission. If I create a decorative product through that Tony store and I assign a full color DTG print to the front on that same shirt, it's going to be 1181 plus, let's say, $5 if we use that example pricing. So $15 for that DTG decorated shirt. Now, where commissions start coming into play is based on that retail price of $15. You have the ability to assign a commission to a store, which creates a split of that retail price. So a store with, let's say, 10% commission, right? So out of that $15, I would keep 90%, 10% would go to the store. So it doesn't raise the price of the product. It actually creates a split of that retail price. It lets you keep some of it, and it lets the store keep some of it. So let's take a look at the store, which is actually configured a little bit differently. So the example I gave now is setting commissions, which is done through the websites section, commission settings, standard commission rates. This is where you can set your standard commission for all of your affiliate stores. You can also override it at the store level. So if I go into Tony Commission, I go into administration, store commission settings, I can set a specific rate just for this store. So I could say for Tony, I want to give him 50% commission, right? So all I'm doing by raising the commission is I'm increasing the cut that goes to Tony and decreasing the cut that goes to me. So again, at this point, the price is not changing. It still would sell for $15. It's just the breakdown of how much goes to each individual is changing. So that's commission. And separate from commission is markup. So without making any changes, the markup reflects the same amount set as commission so that the price of the product doesn't change. However, the store does have access to either lower or raise their markup if they either want to reduce their prices or maybe they want to increase them to make more money. So one common configuration for affiliate stores is actually, like what I've done here, is to set them up with 0% commission and instead let the store make their money by setting markup. So right now, for that same example shirt of $15, if this store, Tony's commission, sells it for $15, they make no money. However, if Tony decides to create a shirt and sell it for 20, he's now making $5. If he sells it for 25, he's making 10. So he's making everything on top of the $15 original retail price. All right, so that's kind of the foundation there. I guess where people kind of have a little bit of trouble when you're coming onto DecoNetwork is just understanding where that pricing comes from. And so hopefully this kind of clarifies that is, explaining that the foundation of that pricing is, it's quite simple. It's the blank product price plus the decoration price. Uh, what's commission? Commission creates is what creates a split of the original retail price, with one portion going to the store and one portion going to the fulfillment center, yourself as the DecoNetwork licensee. And then markup, which by default is in line with a specified commission so that product prices remain the same price, but can be changed by the store owner to either reduce the price of the products, they make a little less money in that case, or raise the price of products so that they can actually make some more money. All right, and so those four topics there really encapsulate affiliate store commissions for DecoNetwork. So hopefully that helps out and provides some clarity for you guys. All right, so it looks like we're just about out of time here. Thanks again to everyone who joined in. Thanks for asking those questions. I really appreciate those, and I'm sure those are going to help out other customers who drop in and review that recorded session. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. I will be out, so we may have a guest host for that session, but do look forward to that. And we look forward to having you guys back. All right, take care, and we'll see you next time.